So welcome back to our weekly live. Today I have my friend Thomas and I have Shane Ivan Nash, one of the hosts from Transparency Podcast Show. So
You're
we're
gonna
doing this like a crossover, like Avenger, right? We have different Avenger all gather up together and be more powerful. so so
crossover
this week, yeah, huh?
crossover episode, right?
Yeah, crossover. Yes, yes. So we are missing Blossom today, but hopefully maybe in the future she'll join us. And today, just as usual, we're gonna kind of go over what happened this week, and there's a few main things happen. And I believe the biggest one is the Olympic controversy. So Shane will tell us a little bit more on that one. You want to start? So
Yep.
what's going on Olympic besides the opening?
So, as most folks have probably seen it, if you haven't, you're probably living under a rock right now. The Olympic boxer from the controversy about a man boxing a woman has kind of blown up on everyone's timelines. And there's so many layers to the actual conversation itself. I even got the Olympics playing on behind me. But basically what's happened is a cisgender woman who has been boxing for years and years and years and years and years was accused of being a male by an Italian boxer. She claimed that she had never been hit that hard in her face, even though, I mean, it's the Olympics and punching competition. It's interesting to say that. And it kind of devolved into this misogynistic idea that women can only be a certain way. Everybody blew up. Everyone thought that this individual was actually a transgender woman for the longest time, not realizing that that's actually not the case. This is a cisgender woman who just has high testosterone levels and has allegedly tested as XY. But again, there's some controversy even on the testing. So that's kind of my intro into it. But I want to pass the mic on to whoever else has some commentary.
Yeah, I usually don't follow sport, but this one I did follow, and I kind of look up what's going on because I don't watch the news as well. So I do understand that one of the boxer is from Taiwan, right? And my background came from Taiwan, and to me it's the boxer, how she appearance, to me is very normal because a lot of girls, okay, women in Taiwan, they do look more um in, what you call unisex or more androgynous, right in the middle, men too, and to me it's very normal. I don't, if I saw the game or the Olympic, I won't give it second thought, oh, that's a man or that's a woman. That's, to me, just a normal person that's competing in the sports, right? So what do you think about um, this allegation, Thomas?
It sounds like a reach to me. I didn't go into too depth reading the material because from the very beginning it sounded like a reach. I mean, a lot of people, and I know a lot of people are going to hate that I say this, but a lot of people don't understand, especially in the West, don't understand all the things women do in the West to look female and look feminine, and look pretty. Yeah. You stop doing that, 80% of them women gonna look like dudes.
True.
I don't want to, and I'm not saying the women are ugly in general, but what I'm saying is, without all that makeup and the facial care and the hair care and the nails and the lipstick and the clothes, the eyeliner, without all that stuff, a lot of women would look just like that.
Yeah, in my country, a lot of women looks like, well, I'll call it tomboyish. So, yeah. Okay. What's your thought on? I think Shane, you mentioned there's some other thing into it. What's the gender testing about?
Yeah. Explain that part much clearly, because when I looked it up, The most I found was, as far as the IOC is concerned, as long as your passport says you're a woman, you're a woman. But I couldn't find anything about what the IBA says, the International Boxing Association, in case anybody listening doesn't know the IBA. I couldn't find what the IBA defines that as. So there's been female boxing for many, many years. And I was trying to look like, what is gender testing? Exactly.
Well, gender testing can be a various of a few things. Folks can water it down to chromosome testing, typically, which, to be fair, is a science that is still being figured out. Even now, it's
wishy at best.
Yes.
I'm only like I get your I mean, not to cut you off, but I get your take on that, and I need to say this because science and stuff is a lot. I love doing that, and I love going on about that. And I tell people every day, there's a reason when DNA testing is done, we only swab the inside of our cheek. We don't pull hair, which you can get DNA testing from any part of your body. You can take some skin, hair, nails, blood, plasma. But what any credible scientist will tell you, it's well known that your DNA is different throughout your whole freaking body. It's not exactly the same. Yeah. If you take it from your cheek and then you took some from another part of your body or even from your hair, it's going to be different. There are going to be significant differences in it. Because we can't identify the portion of that DNA that actually makes you individual, because there isn't one that actually makes you individual. It's the whole thing, but it's different throughout your body because your body's different all over. You got a right hand, a left foot, left ear, eye, all of those DNA, all the DNA like this is different because of these differences, because it has to make that body part. So doing chromosome testing, to go back to that, doing chromosome testing is...
Well, again, that can be pretty interesting as well, because even if we take a look back at some of our, ancient artifacts where we have people that were typically known as female and identified as female, served as, a queen, later on testing and chromosomes came out that they came out as XY. Some of them intersex, some of them actually even male considerably. So the science in terms of gender, because gender is on such a spectrum, and it's basically hormones being introduced into a body and then creating, different secondary sex characteristics to kind of come out, whether it be facial hair, whether it be breasts, etc., whatever that programming and that hormone is that's introduced. So it's really hard to first truly kind of nail down exactly what that is, because, again, there are cisgender women who we've seen. They actually have XY chromosomes. And if you were to look at them visually in a very general way, you would say, okay, well, that's a cisgender woman. She looks like a cisgender woman. She performs like a cisgender woman. But if you were to actually take a drop of her DNA, you might find out, hey, that's actually XY chromosomes, and she could have gonads in her belly. Like, there's so many different, again, variables about how we as humans come out, because it's a miracle we even make it, because we're just a bunch of cells clumped together with some programming. But also, to add to the whole situation with the IBA, so the IBA, what happened originally with the gender testing failure for that particular boxer is that boxer was actually fighting a Russian woman, another cisgender woman fighting another cisgender woman in that championship. And the boxer actually won. So she actually won. And what ended up happening is the IBA went in and said, no. There's no way she could have won. We've got to look into this, and did the gender testing itself. So that's where this XY testing chromosome thing came up, because there's also questions that the organization itself is even credible, because the Olympics now is no longer really operating within the realms of the IBA as much, because there's been some inconsistencies with the judges. There's been inconsistencies with the finances. There's been a lot of inconsistencies in the organization itself. And it does have a very heavy Russian influence in the IBA. So there is some conversation that with Imam Khalif that they went into that situation, they won that battle, that fight, and then all of a sudden the gender testing came in. And now when this Italian boxer came in and she made that statement, it just kind of recirculated something that was already projected on her, which again is that ideology of how trans misogyny harms all of us in some way, shape, or form, and especially, you know, cisgender women who don't have the traditional idea of what a Eurocentric woman, you know, petite, soft face, et cetera, et cetera. And one thing that I do notice in this conversation that seems to be interesting, and I don't know if we want to have that conversation, but there seems to be a layer of race involved as well, because Serena Williams was accused of being a man. A lot of women of color, if they excel, all of a sudden they're a man. And it's this nuanced conversation of like, there's so many things happening at once. It's like misogyny and transphobia and even a drop of racism going on. But that's kind of what I'm seeing from my perspective, just from what I've looked into, because the IBA itself has lost a lot of credibility over the years.
Yeah, from what I see, it's, you know, from that opening ceremony, it's kind of like giving us a bad rap already, you know what I mean? Because that the starting point, and then they say it looks like a Last Supper and everything, and some people saying, some people in the community were saying, if we're gonna break the barrier, this is not how we do it, because you're gonna trigger some people get angry and stuff. So I think we already, everyone's mind already have that concept, and then we look into the competition, and this is what we came up with. And I know a lot of science and stuff, but I think average people, most people are just looking at this individual and think, oh, she or he or they look like a man, and that's the assumption, you know what I mean? So too bad, you know, Shane, I saw one of your TikTok, you were saying at the end of the day, I think this is all a distraction for what's going on in the politic world, you know?
Oh, I mean, trans people are so interesting, I'm going to say, in so many different ways, because they haven't had as much visibility over time in a way that's been positive. And it's a distraction for folks, because we've got the economy is crashing. The stock market just hit the worst
since 2020. Yeah.
80, you know, there's so many different factors that are going on right now. It seems like we're pretty much in war. I mean, if there's submarines that are showing up around Florida and all of these things on, it's almost like they don't want to say we're at war, but we're at war. And I feel like trans people a lot of the time are scapegoated as a distraction for folks, because we're such a small percentage of society as it is. Like, we're like 0.000.
Yeah, last time me and Thomas were talking about the minority, you know, including African American, tend to be used as a political weapon, right? Like we had the George Floyd thing 3 years ago, right? So I think this time is, you know, trans or LGBTQ communities.
Yeah.
It's the trans community's turn to ride the bus. What it comes down to
ceremony. I don't know if you know this, but it's funny that Christians are getting upset, because that ceremony itself, that visual actually comes from Greek time. So they're actually recreating that, which was stolen into Christianity to create that imagery as well. So there's a lot of, again, different nuances of people like being projected on people as well. It's like when a lot of people watch that ceremony, should the Olympics have known not to do that? Maybe, but also if you look back at the tradition of the Olympics, that blue guy that you see there, that was actually the original like idea of that image that we all know existed before Christianity took that over too. So there's so many different layers that are happening simultaneously, and it just feels like every demographic kind of does get used as a pawn in some way, shape, or form politically, and then kind of left behind once, you know, the 4 years have rolled over and we're in the next 3 years of waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, I think the purpose is to separate the division, to create this division, and you know, like, because they know it's easy to control people when they're not, you know, together. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the show, when we have crossover like an Avenger, we're powerful, you know. So Shane, you were gonna say
That's
something?
a setup. If I ever saw, okay, hold on, let me stop.
It's okay.
I don't know if you both know that, but that same boxer was in another fight and tripped over her own foot, and they like replayed how she tripped over her foot, and they were like, "How did you fall?" Like,
Oh my god!
Boxer Carini has been known for doing stunts as well in the boxing ring. So
yeah, I would put it this way, that's since we're not that wasn't even the semifinals. That was just that was an attempt to get rid of the biggest competition so far, because I've seen a lot of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Mike Tyson's fights.
Okay.
For real. In real time. I know what a hard hit looks like. I've watched some female professional boxers go at it. I know what a hard hit looks like. Remember that I can't remember her name, the white girl that was kicking everybody's butt.
Ronda Rousey?
Yeah. She could throw a right cross.
Yeah, she was scary.
Not to disrespect Khelif, but and I hope I didn't just mess up her name.
You could.
That's her family name. Okay, I want to make sure, but not to disrespect her, but she didn't really hit that Italian girl. She didn't give her a good solid hit, you know, and it didn't look like she hit her with a strong clip either. The white girl danced a little bit. She threw a couple jabs and then threw the fight.
Yeah, so that's why
they had that plan from the beginning. She threw the fight.
Yeah, so that's why I really think people judging, you know, having this controversy is because of how they look, you know, outside. You know how they.
Yeah, and everybody's plastering pictures of Khelif all over the place, you know, but they're only plastering pictures of her in the ring. They're not posting pictures of her like out with her girlfriends. They're not putting pictures of her out on a date. They're not only pictures of her in the ring.
Yeah,
where she ain't got no makeup, no skin toner, no lotion, nothing.
Yeah. How do you know there's no lotion?
Kind of like how
just kidding.
Catches a bad angle of a celebrity, like purposefully, you know, like it seems intentional with the photo release, because they were really trying to push that narrative that this is a man fighting a woman, and a lot of people were really saying that this was a trans woman. When, I mean, I hate to break it to y'all, but she has a vagina, you know, like. Kids, I'm not sure. I don't confirm that. But like,
you ain't got to say it like you're spilling the beans. I'm not trying to tell on her.
Everybody thought, oh my God, it's a man hitting a woman. And to your point, I saw Khelif kind of holding back too. And I think it's this narrative of like, maybe because Khelif is supposed to be a seated boxer too. Like what they're doing with the Olympics is they're going to take like some of the tough fighters and they're going to spread them out. They're not going to fight them all at once in the beginning. They're going to kind of make a show of it. And
you got to have it. You got to have it last. It's got to entertain. And this right here was the Italians. This was the Italians' attempt at getting rid of the known number one contender for the gold medal, or for any medal for that fact. And the same thing is probably, I wouldn't doubt if it wasn't the same thing with the Taiwanese girl, because she was almost guaranteed bronze. From what I saw, a lot of reports said she's guaranteed to take bronze. Khelif they were expecting her guaranteed to take gold. They didn't even mention who was going to take silver. They just left that up for grabs. You know, so I'm like, all right. But no, when I look at that, I'm like, no, she didn't even try. I mean, at least go like at least go 2 rounds and be like, I ain't never been hit that hard. I can't do no more of this. I don't know what's
You
going
got
on.
video
This
where
is
she
not right.
foot though, because it's ridiculously bad. Like she literally oh my god, it's horrific. The other fight that she was in, the Italian boxer, like you see her back up and she trips over her own foot, and even the announcer is like, I don't know what happened. Like, how did she fall?
She was the best Italy had to put in there. It's happened. I was in junior high and I played track and field because it was something to do. Give me something to do as a kid. Stay out of trouble, not running the streets. That was how my family saw it. So I did track and field. I was great at the hurdles and the relay. Awesome at that shit. But I sucked at the once around the track race, the 100 meter, not the 100 meter, like a 200 or something. I sucked at that because I get halfway around the track and start running out of gas. I'm a little kid. It just wasn't. It's not something I trained for. But my coach put me in for it all the time because we didn't have anybody who could do the race. And I'm like, all right. And he knew I would get out there and I'd at least try. I wouldn't quit. So I go around the race, blah, blah, blah. Like we knew it was a race we weren't gonna win. But I just get out there and putt around and just do best I could. Halfway around the track, everybody starts gapping me. The people I passed are passing me now because I didn't understand. Pace yourself, and my coach never explained it to me, but he wasn't worried about me running that. He was only worried about me running the hurdles and the relay. Because the hurdles and relay, I had it down. So that was all coach cared about. He's like, yeah, just do something. Just go around the track. That was it. Just go around the track in his little tighty gym shorts. That's what we all wore back then. You can look at them 70s and 80s gym shorts. They were terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, I saw Bruce Jenner has those shorts.
Yeah, we all.
Bruce Jenner. Okay, so I have a question to ask you guys. Talk about Bruce Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner now. She is against trans women to participate in the women's sports. I want to see how you guys think about that because I'm going to start. My personal view is I think.
Okay, state the question again, right quick.
I say, Caitlyn Jenner is against trans women to participate in the women's sports. Okay, that's her political view. And I want to ask you guys, what do you think about trans women participating in the women's sports?
First, what you got?
What? Mine?
What's yours? Don't hide. What you got? Don't put it on me.
No, I wanted to start, and Thomas asked me what was the question. So mine was because there's a talk that people thinking we should create a new category, and actually I support that. I don't know what other people think, but I think if we create not a third gender per se, but maybe a category for trans or non-binary folks to participate in the
category.
And
whoever
then,
wants added.
However, after I had that thought, I thought about, okay, this is, all the sports are at the end of the day is still business, right? It's still commercial. So if we create some category like that, does any company, anybody's going to watch it? That's another challenge, right? So I don't know. That's why I'm kind of support a new category, but not sure on a business side. So what do you guys think about? Should trans women, trans men participate in the women and men's sports? Shane, you want to take the mic?
Oh, you want to pass it to me?
Well, yeah.
And my answer is this just because of this reason of my lived experience. I'm a trans man, 6 foot tall, and I was excluded from a lot of sports because of that. Yes, I have a vagina. I wanted to also say that too. But what that has meant for me and how I've seen a lot of this discussion about trans women in sports, When I grew up as a kid, it was very problematic in a lot of ways, but there was still this idea that women can really achieve anything. And this glass ceiling that we were all supposed to break through in a sense still exists extremely heavily. And back to kind of my point earlier about how this is kind of a layer of misogyny, just in my own viewpoint from what I see, because as a trans man, I would love to participate in sports and against men. To be honest, I would love to have a vagina and be in a boxing ring and kick the shit out of somebody that has a penis and for once break that glass barrier that we make that. But at the same time, are there some genetic advantages? Yes, I will acknowledge that. But just like there's genetic advantages about being super tall in basketball, super long with swimming with Michael Phelps. And the thing that I'm noticing, and again, this is just because I was born and socialized as female, is that this idea that athleticism has to be limited is only put on people that are born with vaginas. Men are allowed to take their bodies to the extremes, and are supported in that sense, whether they have super long arms, super tall, and there is some genetic advantages in those spaces. But when it comes to women's sports itself, it seems like it's heavily regulated. There's still extreme glass ceiling. And then on top of it, there's barely any funding to even create these super athletic folks because women are always somehow limited that they can't look too manly. They can't look this, they can't do that. Yet you're expecting them to be high performers when masculinity kind of comes out in sports a lot. Like you get higher bits of testosterone sometimes when you're working out as much as you are with a body that is AFAB, which is a female at birth. It just naturally happens. You naturally will get some broader shoulders if you're constantly working out, which then puts you in this box of like, oh, well, you can't be too strong or else you're a man. But that's not put on ever at all. So I see it as this new aged way of being misogynistic and not really accountable for it, because again, this is not put on cisgender men. This is only put on people that have vaginas. But that's where I'm standing.
Yeah, I want to make a quick comment, then we'll pass it to Thomas. So I actually watch women's soccer. Have you guys watched any women's soccer before? Yeah, I think women's soccer seems more, the woman who's play soccer seems more tougher than men who play soccer in the team somehow. Like if they get kicked or they get hurt, seems like, I'm sorry, just seems like the men team is more crying baby than the females. Yeah, that's just my personal comment. So what do you think about that, Thomas?
Thomas is like, I think the exact opposite. No.
Really?
In some respects, yeah. In some respects, yes. All right. My position is this: when you're talking about stuff like women's sports, like the WNBA and women's soccer and all of that, I want to say this: you always need to remember, none of those men's leagues or sports ban women from playing. They don't ban women from playing on any of those teams. They just don't. Women's leagues were created so that women had a space to play. And they had to ban men from playing in those leagues so that women would have a competitive space to play. But when people talk about pay and compensation, that's butts and seats. And people have been telling the WNBA players this over and over and over. You put butts in seats, you'll get the revenue. Same thing with women's soccer. You put butts in seats, you'll get the revenue. But they're not putting butts in seats. They're not enough to get the same revenue. And I'm like, I get it. You want to be recognized. You're on a team that's recognized as a pro level team. How much more recognized can you get? Really? You're on a pro team. You're not playing, pickup games at the Y or at the park. You're not playing on a high school team. You're not even playing on a college team. You're playing on a pro team.
Mm-hmm.
You want to cry about money? You better start talking to your team like, hey, coach, general manager, owner, what can we do to put more butts in seats? Do I need to be a character on the court? So if so, I'll go do that. You know, the only characters you got on the court is Caitlin, and I only know her name because everybody's saying it 24 hours a day because she's like, I ain't gonna even lie, she's the phenom little white girl, and they love it because they've had at least 4 black players that have been dominating the WNBA for years before Caitlin came along. And I don't remember hearing them talking about them that much. But like I said, you're not putting butts in seats. When you look at men's sports, there are characters, heroes, and villains in every league, on every team. It's and they all know, every single one of those players know it's entertainment. And the people came here to see us play. They came to see us dunk, shoot threes like it's cool. They came here to see us run people over on the field. If I was what do they call the women's football league teams? If I was one of them teams, I'd be trying to recruit that girl from the rugby girl from I want to say New Zealand, but I don't think it's New Zealand. I don't remember where she's from. I was watching her run people over I was like, oh my God, she's a beast. She's awesome. I'll go and watch one of her games because she's a beast on the field. And that's what you got to do. It's just like you can cry about equality all day. It's you and your team. If you're not doing it, don't talk to me about it. Because you know what? The majority of all those women's teams, the majority of their fans in those seats are men. They're not women. They're men. Mm-hmm. Most of the women I know don't even know what team is. They don't even know if their city has a team. So what are you complaining to me for? Your city don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And I'm not trying to be mean about it. I'm just saying your city don't even know you. You know?
Yeah. So
and then as far as the playing part goes, and there's always going to be, no matter what you're going to say or what you're going to do, when you're at a professional competitive level, there's always going to be that physical difference. Can it be overcome? Yes. Are most athletes going to overcome it? Not unless they train to. You know, and if they're not doing that, they're not going to overcome. The women have to train. For women to compete, be competitive like that, they're going to have to start training the way the men do. And they don't. For the large part, their training takes into account that they are female. You know what I mean? Even in the military, it's taken into account.
Right. I want to add, because maybe majority of the people don't notice, like when a trans woman do the HRT, the hormone replacement therapies, our strength, it's not as the same as before. That's for sure. And a lot of people people think a trans woman, which is men before, and they have the same strength, and then in the women's sport is not fair. But actually, the strength will downgrade a lot, actually. So, and I don't know about trans men. How's your when you transition? Do you feel you're having more strength, Shane?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it's a complete opposite of that. You can tell a huge difference between the effects of estrogen and the effects of testosterone, just in terms of even muscle twitch, recovery, and all of those things. And that's why in some cases I can see how there would be advantages when it comes to sports. But again, like Shelby just mentioned, and from just my personal experience with a lot of trans women, when they do take HRT for about 2 years or longer, their strength significantly reduces to the point where they're even weaker than cisgender women. In my experience, I've seen a lot of trans women are asking me to help to carry things.
Yes.
In my history, and it seems to be that they even notice themselves that they'll always make a comment like, "Wow, I used to be able to carry this like it was nothing," and they barely make it upstairs with one bag of groceries. And meanwhile, like my wife, who's cisgender, can carry sometimes more than even me. So the effects of testosterone and estrogen are very significantly different. But again, that's where the professional testing comes in, because a lot of these trans athletes are actually within the same range, or sometimes actually lower than cisgender counterparts. So there are times where you're seeing a trans woman performing in sports, like the swimmer that Riley Gaines had her little issue on, Leah Thomas. Her muscle density was dramatically smaller than what it was pre to hormones. And you could even see it, like, because she was a swimmer, you're able to really see it in like the shoulders and the arms. Like you saw that it like went flaccid a bit in comparison to some of the older photos. So there is
when it comes to that, I mean, not to totally stop you, but when it comes to that, like, you gotta remember, like, I'm old enough that I take testosterone more than just for lifting weights and looking juicy, And when you got to remember, there's a reason professional sports test for testosterone in men. There's a reason. And a lot of people say, "Oh, it's because of the aggression." No. There's a huge difference between a man who could bench press 135 pounds and a man who could bench press 225 pounds. There's a huge difference. It's only 90 pounds, but it's a huge difference in strength, and there's and it goes to the other point, like, take boxing, for instance. People in professional boxing for men, they'll lose their mind if your favorite boxer came in, overweight for the fight. People start losing their mind. Because you get 10 to 15 pounds, I think is where it really starts changing a lot. When you punch somebody, it's fun. It's crazy. It's like, how are we, so, and that's why I'm like, how are we crying about, when we cry about the transgender stuff and this and that, but nobody's got any real data to back up the words and the testing. You don't have anything. So I'm like, you're crying about it, but you're only crying about it to pump up. You're only crying about it to pump up and gas up, everyday people. So they're going like, oh, it's really irritating, but trolling works.
Yeah.
And I apologize for interrupting Shane like that. It is
No, listen, hey, I interrupt people all the time, but Shelby does have a video that I wanted to show you of the Italian boxer tripping, because it's hilarious. Falls over from another fight.
Yeah, you should have said you had her tripping video. I'm
No. I wanted, because you were making a point. I didn't.
A lot of people don't know, but I got a petty streak. I laugh at you.
Okay. All right. Ready?
No, Shelby, show this because it's hilarious.
Okay.
Shelby's like, I don't know how to try now, but no way.
It's coming.
This is where your cursor.
Shelby talking about, like, and now buy this deodorant.
Can you guys see?
Allegedly.
Can you guys see?
Oh, I see it. I was waiting for him to hit the X to get rid of the floating.
Yeah, we were waiting for you.
Oh, but my screen is playing, so that's why
it's a new feature.
That's why my hang on one second. That's why every time I'm trying to share stuff, it doesn't really work. Shane, you cannot share.
Hey, so we're getting an earthquake. Oh my God, we're getting an earthquake alert, yo.
Really? How come I don't feel it?
I have to pause.
I feel it now.
Yeah, we're getting an earthquake, and it's
right
big.
now? How
Yeah.
big is it?
I'm gonna have to go.
Really? Oh, now I feel it. All right. I guess we'll have
Oh,
to
it
go.
took a couple seconds to get down there for you.
Okay, I'm still here. That was a lot.
Where are you at? You in the South too? Well, your TV's still on the wall, so it wasn't that bad.
I am a very tools kind of guy. I have so many screws up in there because I've lived in California. I know not to.
Is it really?
Yeah, no, I was just sitting here watching the curtains on the window wave back and forth.
I don't know.
I'm text.
I'm having headsets, so I cannot hear anything.
No, it wasn't noisy. It was just, like
shaky. All right. So, anyways, that video I cannot. I'll just cut it in. So, you want to talk about it?
There you go. You can leave an earthquake in your video.
Yeah,
earthquake will be in the video. But the boxer, the tripping. Do you want to talk about? Cause I'll insert it later because somehow it doesn't work.
Yeah. Let's
hold on. There's a way to do this on my phone. Let me just.
She better actually trip.
She does, and it's so bad because it's like that's who claimed. There it is.
Can you show?
Angela Carini. Ready? Look at up. Let me play that back for you. Ready?
Hang on. Okay.
Fell on her own ankle. One more time.
What the?
One last for good measure. Yeah, that's ridiculous. And that's a whole.
That was just terrible. Like.
Yeah, she tripped on herself.
Like, what did you trip on? You tripped on your own foot. Like, you just went.
Yeah.
I don't know. Watching her other performance with the Khelif fight, I'm like, I'm ready to be like, yeah. I mean, I've caught the floor before. I've caught the ground before and had my ankle turn and then just fell over.
Hey,
doing something like, wow, I don't believe I just did that.
It reminds me of when we walk on a high heel and that's painful. It's really painful.
Yeah, it did look a lot more like she was in heels and just suddenly like, oops.
Yeah.
Oops.
So are we all good for an earthquake? We're good? I don't know.
I just wanted my building really was swaying though. I was like, oh my God.
I don't really feel it until you say it, so I'm not sure if it's imagined or.
I got a text message on my phone or like an alert that said earthquake is about to hit. Drop and cover.
Oh, so you sign up for those?
No, I signed up. It was an emergency alert thing. You know, like the Amber Alerts that they send to our phones.
Yeah, how come I didn't get one?
I don't.
Maybe in your area only.
Probably about my area, yeah. Because my building was swaying like this. That's why I was like, I think I might have to go.
Yeah, that's why I was like, where are you at? Because when you said it, I was like, really? Then like a second or two later,
yeah, I thought you were joking.
I was like, okay, he's not joking. It's swaying, and then Shelbe still hadn't felt it for a couple of seconds after that.
I thought that's a new way of Shane closing up the show.
Goodbye. Oh,
right, I have to go. He's shaking.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, I gotta go. Earthquake, I'm out.
Yeah.
Emergency, I'm definitely gonna hang up. Okay, clearly.
Of course. But leave the camera on so we can.
Grab my wife. Oh, okay.
Leave the camera on.
Yeah, you gotta go check on the little wife.
Yeah.
With the way you said it, though, I was expecting it to be like
dramatic.
You're like, we got an earthquake. You're like, oh, earthquake is coming. I'm like, oh, I was seriously like, all right.
Yeah. Well, it was because I'm out in the valley, so it might have hit me a little harder. Because I've never gotten an emergency alert text before. I mean, I was sitting here going like this, going,
okay.
What's
I can see why because like you're probably a little bit closer to where I am because you're in the valley. Yeah, I see. It just came down the coast, You know,
Also, I'm the last.
if you
I'm the
send
last
me
fell.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
the
out.
last fell, right? So it makes sense. 1, 2, 3.
yeah, but I mean that amount of distance, 5 seconds maybe.
I was
You know,
about 3,
5,
3
6
to
seconds
5.
between Shane and Shelby. That's fast.
And if we can get to Long Beach that quick, oh my God, that I wish. I have to take the 4 all the way down there.
If we had a tram system that was that quick,
Oh,
there would definitely. I can guarantee you there'd be a lot less cars on the freeway. People like,
100%.
be like, boy, you better build that thing everywhere. I get
China already have it. It's called bullet train or something, right? China.
Yeah, Japan has one too.
Yeah.
They
Only here
have
we don't have it yet.
Certain areas.
Yeah.
The transit system's trying to get better here. Like they're adding an extension to West Hollywood.
And West Hollywood.
To do the loop with West Hollywood. And
yeah, I think it's going to go West Hollywood, out to the 405, down to the airport, LAX.
Yes.
And back in through Beverly Hills.
Have you seen the double staircase kind of mock-up that they're doing for the LAX one, where you're just going to be right off the plane, right into some escalators, and then on a train?
No, but that reminds me of the one they got in London. So I wouldn't be surprised, because they've been building that thing for a hot minute.
Yeah.
But it'll definitely make getting to the airport, unless you got a lot of bags, it'll definitely make getting to the airport much easier for a lot of people. So if you just got carry-on or one bag, you're going to start seeing a lot more people on the train going straight to the airport.
Oh, yeah. Have you had a chance to ride the one that goes to the beach now?
Which beach?
Santa Monica.
No.
Yeah, they've got the extensions officially open, and you can literally jump on any line and get transferred over to the yellow line. The yellow line will take you right down the center of like the 10, straight to Santa Monica.
Yeah, we got a line here in Pasadena. It runs right through Pasadena.
Yep.
Because you can come up here to Pasadena and catch it, and then it'll take you out west towards San Bernardino.
Yep.
And I can go from here. Actually, I can go from here. I can go down to the thing and go from here. I can go anywhere that it goes in town. The unfortunate thing is none of the places I'm going usually or want to go.
Yeah.
On the tram.
Hear that.
So I don't take it. But if it was within a couple blocks walking distance, yeah, I'd take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take it. I used to do tram a lot when I lived in other countries and stuff.
We have 10 more minutes to go. Are we just gonna keep talking about this? Or
listen, we talk about trains, okay, Shelby? We were talking
that's
about
fine. I just don't have any train thoughts. So.
I know some train thoughts you had, but they might not be appropriate.
It's okay. We can mark it explosive.
Yeah, you said they have one in China?
Yeah, the bullet train, I believe it's called.
Is that what you
heard of China having?
I never.
Train. I mean, I wouldn't surprise me, because I know the leadership has pushed a lot of major construction and development over the last 20 years in China, trying to rebrand China's image.
Mm-hmm.
And what they didn't push was the economy, the stabilization of the economy, stabilization and growth of the economy. So there was that whole period, remember 10 years ago, that whole period where there's like a launch of all these Chinese entrepreneurs becoming rich and having a lot of money, and they never stabilized the economy. So what are you gonna do? You're rich for a minute.
It's I believe it's a cycle, just like this past weekend, the stock market and crypto as well. And I believe it's the politic has a lot to do with it, and I also think it's intentional to have a crash, because I'm sure you guys heard they tried to introduce the CBD. Have you heard of it? Yeah, the CBD.
Wait,
digital.
Do you know about the
Central banking digital coins or some sort.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
So
nobody has real faith in the central bank.
it's different from the crypto because crypto is decentralized. So what they're trying to do is they try to centralize this Fitcoin or whatever you want to call it, and
Yeah,
then
and that's
they
not
will
gonna,
and then they will start tracking every little thing we spend, we buy, or
Transaction.
yeah,
we subscribe
it's
to,
not going to take
right?
over. Yeah, like Shane can tell you, I'm sure that'll never really take off unless you force everybody to use that digital currency.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
That's the only reason it'll take off because they
Right.
did it to the dollar, and the only reason the dollar is valuable is because we force it to be.
so I think they purposely want to crash this system or even dollar currency, so to bring this up. Shane have something to say earlier?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
no, and this is again, I love TikTok conspiracy, so I'm going to say it's conspiracy before I say that because I want to just But I don't know if you looked at the whole Peter Thiel thing and all of that stuff, that whole rabbit hole. But like, what it looks like from the conspiracy side, I'm not going to say it's my personal thing, but it's just what I've learned through that. That it was manufactured to a degree because if let's say the market crashes, we crash the dollar, then we give people a bunch of apps to download, and that's how they get their new currency, and then they get used to that currency. Give them $1,200, kind of like a stimulus situation. I mean, that's what conspiracy, but that's how they could introduce it into a crisis situation,
Yeah.
kind of like how
Mhm.
11 and all these other things that they've used to introduce all this stuff. There's a lot of like conspiracy around why it's actually happening. And the other thing is I see a lot of people who don't own stocks because millennials, Gen Z, we don't have shit. Let's be real. We barely own a broom. And most of us, when the stock market crashed, are like, okay, I'm just as poor as I was yesterday.
I own stock, but
Well, are you Gen Z?
I actually I already exit crypto a couple months ago before this happened, so it's good. And what you're saying is correct because I think they also, you see, because the credit card debt right now is the highest,
Yep.
and then we just have that student loan forgiving program. So I think it's all linked together. They probably intentionally try to
that student loan thing.
they try to make us broke and then introduce, and then you can forgive everything else. Maybe
That's
and then
our act.
huh?
Trying to. Have you heard about the Nasara thing with like all of our debt ceiling is basically like ballooned and they're just going to basically wipe it and start it over?
Yeah,
Just
reset. Yeah. So what
again,
do you
this
think,
is I don't want any. I want to live. I didn't. You know what I mean?
No, but
I don't know.
You know what?
Over the world.
I see them trying it, but only so far. I see them trying it, but only so far as with the American people, and then trying to shuffle in the cryptocurrency thing. And I'm like, do it, whatever.
Doing the social credit score, which is scary and Black Mirror as hell too. I don't know if you know about the whole social credit score where you gotta,
in China,
get access to like busing and gas and cheaper hotel. Like it's like what? Like that's be interesting if that was ever implemented in America.
Yeah,
but that right there would really cause a real population detonation because a lot of people would be like, no.
Yeah, they're gonna.
And that would really. You want to talk about solidifying of the American population? There you go, right there.
That's why I know. That's why they try to break us, divide us right now. To bring, I think
movies now we have the Civil War that came out, that movie, and then the movie that was produced by the Obamas. That's like Leave the World Behind or something. Where like there's tankers that are crashing into the like random beaches, and then like 3 months later, a tanker crashed into the beach. Like it's definitely seems like predictive programming to a degree as well. But again,
didn't you just mention there's submarine in Florida?
Oh, that stuff's going on 24/7.
The Russian submarine with the largest nuke. A couple of months ago, I saw just like one little news article that was like, "Oh yeah, it went missing." It's been missing.
Yeah.
Just the largest Russian sub ever in history that has like some sort of nuke on it called like the Colossus or some sort of, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, with that, I'd say some them sub guys, they play hide and seek all day, every day. Just their whole life is hide and seek. That's all they're doing.
Thomas is Marine Corps veteran, so
Navy,
right?
Navy. Sorry, Navy.
Yeah, they play hide and seek all day, and that stuff with the sub off the coast, they're doing that all the time. We're doing it to them.
Yeah, no, but they're definitely getting bold. Like, I mean, I've only been on the planet for 35 years. I've never heard of them being as bold as they are now.
Yeah, because you just don't talk about it as much. Like when I was in the Navy, and it's just constant. Every time underway, every time we're doing submarine operations, you never know when you're going to run into them. Every ship is looking around all the time for submarines, surface ships, and aircraft. We're looking for them all the time. You never know when one's going to pop up. And we test each other all the time, too.
Yeah.
It's like you hear it on the news. Oh, they almost collided. Nah, they weren't that close. No ship's captain's going to let another ship get, spitting distance close to them. Talking, oh, they almost collided. Now, ships do collide, but it usually happens when it's like in the middle of the night with ships that don't have good vision, radar, and all that stuff, or those two ships are doing some kind of operation together, and they have to be close together. That's usually when ships collide, and it's usually like a little bump, and then everybody's freaking out, and their ships are just pulling away from each other as fast as possible without doing a hard 90-degree turn, and you're like, oh my god.
But my question, Thomas, have you ever seen like a giant squid or any kind of anything?
Well, I wouldn't say all the time, but yeah, I've seen giant sea turtles, giant whales.
Shark.
Yeah,
somebody took a picture and it's like long.
Oh yeah. It's plenty of sharks. And then when I was in it, there were days where it was you get some downtime, so you go stare at the water. This is big. All right.
Long.
All right.
I say long.
Verification, okay?
Yeah. We see stuff all the time. You see stuff all the time because you got downtime, and sometimes the only thing to do is go on the side, sit on the side of the ship or smoke area, taking a break with everybody else, and just stare at the water. And sometimes you see stuff go by, and you're like, "Did you just see that?" I was like, "Yep."
So why are you asking? Why are you asking? You have some information to tell us?
I've sailed through like a school of octopus? Jellyfish. Like you can literally see jellyfish packed together, like physically packed together side by side for as far as you could see in the water. And we went through that for it took like an hour or two to get through the whole thing. We're doing like 15, 20, we're doing like 10, 12 knots, which is not slow.
Yeah.
And on the water, it's pretty fast. But I mean, it's not really slow. It's slow in a car. When on a ship, it's pretty quick. It's pretty quick. As far as, we're not like zooming somewhere, but it's a good steaming. It's a good steaming.
So why are you asking, Shane, about that?
Oh, because I wanted to tie the controversy that it was actually a giant squid who started the rumor that the boxer was actually a trans woman. No, I don't know.
He was a kraken. You start a hashtag conspiracy every time I see somebody on the internet talking about some kind of conspiracy. Hashtag secret kraken.
Russian squid.
Squid.
Twitchy squid. Russian squid.
Squid Game. Korean.
Yeah, I see people doing that one. I've seen people doing that Squid Game. Every now and then. You see that?
Yeah, the real life one, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, I get people hitting me up online for all kinds of stuff.
Have to break off the cookie and lick it.
Oh.
Yeah. No, they were kicking and spitting and trying to break a cookie, so they had to break the shape of an umbrella. and if they broke the cookie, they were out. It was very disgusting.
Ooh. Alrighty. So
What a great way to transparency podcast show.
Yeah, see, look at this crossover is powerful.
Whatever happened to that game show?
What game show?
They tried a game show with that.
I don't know.
I don't know if it ever took off. I mean, I don't watch that much TV like that, but
so any updates on the earthquake? No.
No, we survived. Episode to make sure that you knew how committed we are to this podcast. That even during an earthquake, we will stay on. Except for me, I will turn off my camera.
You should leave it on.
In the middle of an earthquake, we are still here talking.
I didn't want it this big, okay? But we.
See, it wasn't this big, but
I was like, damn, Shelby. We're train again?
Huh? You want me to do it again?
Oh, that's horrible.
Hey, did they report the size on that on your phone?
Huh?
Shane?
What's that?
Did they report the size?
The size of the...
I can look on that right quick. Hang on 1 second.
So I'm thinking...
On the notification.
3.
3? No, it's more than 3.
I would only go as high as 4.
if we can feel it, and then he feel like he gotta go, it must be at least 5 to 6.
Well, I don't know. The spot that I'm at tends to. Yeah, it was only at 2.5.
What? Only?
Yeah. No, the spot that I'm at, because I'm like part of the valley that's close to like the mountain there, it kind of just really rocks and rolls a little bit.
Oh, but I feel that's more than 2.
No,
that's what I was thinking, because I was like
5.3. I got an update. It's a 5.3, so it's decent.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So that's a decent size. Then we're quite a ways away from where the epicenter was. We had to be. Because I'm like, it was gentle there.
Gentle.
I mean, it was definite movement, but it was still kind of gentle.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you for you both to join me today. Any last thoughts?
No, it was a pleasure to meet you, Thomas, and finally get to actually do an episode with you. And I look forward to doing more of this at home, and maybe even some more in-person episodes. And I'm just, having a transparency podcast show episode. I don't know what to do.
Good talking to you.
Pleasure.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night, and please subscribe, follow, like, and hit that notification.
Subscribe, follow, like.
Button below. I don't even know where the buttons are right now.
Link in bio. Buy everything that you see that's Transparency Podcast, and then convince your friend to go, take their phone and just hit subscribe, follow, all social medias, and then tell your friend to take their phone and just keep it going. Just support trans people talking and having a conversation about giant squids that are taking over.
Hey, I was gonna say, do you want me to leave the link for your new design hat?
Oh, so I actually got flagged on Teespring for that for some reason, because
you did.
Wow. So I had to put it down, but I do still have my own personal version at Shane Ivan Nash.
Okay, we'll put a link in the show note for you.
Okay.
Alrighty. Okay, thank you again. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.